And welcome to Hannity. We start tonight with a Fox News alert. Yet another high-ranking official from Iran's rogue regime tonight, again dead. This time, the top intel chief was taken out. We have the details coming up and the latest developments from the Middle East. General Keane will join us tonight. Also, we'll cover a major crisis brewing right here at home. Massive lines at airports, FEMA without funding, TSA, the Coast Guard, Secret Service, other critical security officials that are working for over a month without pay, all in the middle of a conflict with the world's #1 state sponsor of terrorism. Now, thank you to the Democratic lawmakers shutting down the Department of Homeland Security when the threat has never been greater. And according to Democrats, quote, there's a quote, making people hurt is their new strategy in the DHS shutdown battle. The House Speaker, Mike Johnson, will react tonight. Also, Senator Tom Cotton, Senator Josh Hawley, former FBI Deputy Director, our friend Dan Bongino will be here as well. We have a full report. There is a mystery unfolding that is captivating the nation tonight. A 20-year-old Alabama student who went missing during a spring break trip to Barcelona. Now get this, also tonight, Marxist Kami Mamdani's wife caught saying something way beyond disturbing. Let's see what he has to say this time. But first, we have more major progress out of Iran. In just 2 days, 3 of the country's most senior remaining leaders were killed in airstrikes. And late last night, multiple 5,000-pound bombs were dropped on Iranian missile sites near the Strait of Hormuz. Here now with the very latest on this conflict with Iran. Mike Tobin, again, staying up late with us. He's in Tel Aviv tonight. Mike.
And Sean, a desperate Iran is now firing at its neighbors and promising to reduce the oil infrastructure to ashes. Now, another cluster bomb arrived in the skies over Tel Aviv, delivered by an Iranian rocket this evening. It broke up as it's designed to do in the skies, dropping bomblets to the residential areas down below. We do have reports now of another fatality in a Tel Aviv suburb because of Iranian cluster bombs. This as rescue crews are searching through the destruction caused by those bomblets. Saudi Arabia says 5 drones flew at their oil infrastructure. 4 ballistic missiles flew at Riyadh, and the Saudi foreign minister said what little trust existed before with Iran has completely been shattered. Iran also fired on Qatar's largest liquefied natural gas field. That prompted Qatar to declare Iranian security and military attaches persona non grata. The Iranian staff is now being kicked out of Doha. And in the course of 2 days, Israel has eliminated 3 high-value targets in what remains of the Iranian leadership. This evening, the IDF says they have fired for the first time into the north of Iran. Sean, back to you.
All right, Mike Tobin, notice that the Iranians are shooting for civilian targets, and, of course, the U.S. and Israel, they are going for military targets. Mike, thank you. Now, let's take a look at an important stat that many people are not familiar with. Only around 2% of America's oil is imported through the Strait of Hormuz. That's it. Now, double, triple, quadruple that amount, well, that's what gets imported to the various members of the EU, European Union, and that means NATO, quote, allies. And yet, when President Trump invited our European allies to contribute to the security of their own oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz, Europe balked at the mere suggestion that they might participate in their own security. And I'm just sorry to say this, NATO in Europe is finished. We honestly don't need them, but they really need us badly. They are unreliable. They are pathetically weak allies. These countries allowed unfettered immigration with no assimilation, enforcing strict laws that crack down on free speech while allowing Islamic extremism to go unchecked. Sharia courts in Great Britain, over 80 of them, no-go zones throughout Europe where police can't go in, fire departments can't go in. And for decades, when it comes to national defense, NATO nations in Europe, they have enjoyed a mostly free ride. Take a look at your screen. America's defense spending eclipses all of NATO combined. The U.S. is also the largest source of funding for the war in Ukraine. It would be on their continent, despite, its obvious proximity to the rest of Europe. To put it bluntly, NATO is nothing without the U.S., and sadly, they are collapsing as a continent and as individual countries as well. Never mind them embracing radical socialism and climate alarmism to top it all off. And yet, when we ask for a relatively small show of support, our, quote, allies, and this in order to secure their energy needs, not ours, many of these European countries are appalled that Donald Trump would even ask. Why didn't they volunteer? What happened to the European nations who fought with us in World War I and II and other places around the globe? What happened to their backbone? What happened to their moral clarity, their resolve? Thankfully, the United States Armed Forces, we are capable of securing the strait without any help. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.